What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I'd like to give you guys my post-game thoughts for our victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content. Hit that like button for your boy. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys for your continued support, continuing to share out my content on all the social media platforms. If you'd like to follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. And if you'd like to be a part of my Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here on the channel as well. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So as I mentioned in today's video, I do want to give my post-game thoughts on our victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We won Sunday's game by a score of 16-13, and it was a huge victory by our Atlanta Falcons. Desmond Ridder's first road victory and this Atlanta Falcons team's first road victory of the season. We now sit in first place in the NFC South, which is huge. We're currently 4-3. We're the only team above 500 currently in the NFC South. So shouts out to our Atlanta Falcons that's sitting at first place. But it's a couple key components that I want to hit on and things that I noticed in this game. As you guys know, it wasn't the perfect game, but this Atlanta Falcons team overcame the 3 fumbles by Desmond Ridder in this game. Things that I definitely think that could be cleaned up moving forward. But a couple things that I noticed in this game. The first thing that I noticed in this game is the depth of this Atlanta Falcons team. It's really starting to show this season. As I told you guys heading into the season, that this Falcons team being deep was going to be one of the reasons why I thought this team would win the division and why I feel like we're the best. We have the best roster currently in the NFC South. And this year, we see that depth shining through. In this game, we wore the Buccaneers out, and by the time the second half rolled around, as I mentioned, that running game with Tyler Algier, Cordell Patterson, and that offensive line, they really wore down the Buccaneers defense. And we know that the Buccaneers are a very stout defense. I believe coming into this game against our Atlanta Falcons, they were the 3rd ranked defense in the NFL. And our offensive line, Desmond Ridder, in that running game and our passing game, we looked really good on Sunday, and we wore those guys out with those body blows. We did win in the trenches, And by the time the fourth quarter came around, those guys were worn out, and those 2 and 3 yard runs became 6 and 7 yard runs. So shouts out to our Atlanta Falcons for us being able to wear out this Buccaneers team, not only on the offensive side of the ball, but also on the defensive side of the ball. We've seen our Atlanta Falcons, I believe, come away with 3 sacks in this game. And we really started to wear them down also in the trenches because we have that depth in the trenches this season. We've seen Onyemata come away with a sack. We've seen Grady Jarrett getting pressure. We've seen Lorenzo Carter come up with a sack in this game. And that was huge for our Atlanta Falcons in this victory. We've seen Richie Grant come up with a key interception in a clutch moments. And that's another thing that stood out so far this season. And we talked about this over the last couple seasons. When you need to make a play on defense, when you need to get a stop, when you need to make a play on offense, this year this team is doing that. We've seen Richie Grant come up with the key interception. We've seen Nate Landman punch the ball out in a key moment in the game to swing momentum back in our favor. And then we've seen late in the game, Desmond Ridder make a nice pass to Kyle Pitts late in the game to get us in field goal range. And then we've seen Young Wei Koo in the special teams, him being clutch and him kicking that 51-yard field goal to win the game. So we've seen on all 3 phases of this Atlanta Falcons team that we're learning how to close out games. And that was one of the biggest issues with our Atlanta Falcons. I'll say over the last couple seasons when we went 7-9, we just couldn't find a way late in games to make that one more play on offense or defense, whether it's to get the ball back, whether it's to come up with a big catch or come up with a big run to put us in the field goal range. In this season, it seems like every time that we need a play to be made, for the most part, in the games that we've won, we found a way to make that one stop on defense, or we found a way to make that key throw and that key catch to put us in field goal range or make that field goal at the end of a game. So shouts out to this Atlanta Falcons team for them showing their resiliency so far throughout this season. And the last thing that I noticed from this Atlanta Falcons team in this game against the Buccaneers is this team is finally starting to gain that experience. I really feel like that's the biggest issue with this Atlanta Falcons team, is that we've made some key mistakes at key moments. But because these guys are learning on the job, like Desmond Ridder, we still have young players on this team like Drake London, who's only in his second season, Kyle Pitts, who is in his third season, Bijan Robinson, who's in his first season, Tyler Algier. A lot of our key playmakers, especially on the offensive side of the ball, are really young players. So we're starting to see these guys gain that experience. And that's one of the things that I think is one of the biggest one of the biggest things for this Atlanta Falcons team is a lot of these guys are still learning on the job, and these guys are finally starting to gain that experience. So I really think that that's going to be bode well for this Atlanta Falcons team as we move forward. These guys continuing to get that game experience. Like I mentioned, Desmond Ridder getting the ball punched out at the goal line. He's only going to get better from learning from those type of plays, that he has to protect the football and that he can't let up. You heard Arthur Smith talking about in his interview him not pulling up or him not slowing down as he's crossing the goal line. Guys like even Drake London, we keep forgetting in that play prior to Desmond Ridder getting the ball, fumbling the ball at the 1 yard line when Drew Dalman had the bad snap. You had Drake London trying to dive for the goal line, which almost was a touchback. Where in that situation, Drake London's going to learn not to, try to dive or hurdle somebody at the goal line, but just go run out of bounds or try to maybe lower his shoulder to get into the end zone, because that could have been a key turning point in the game as well, with him almost getting that touchback in that situation. So as I mentioned, a lot of these situations that we're seeing, we're noticing that these are just young players making young mistakes and rookie mistakes. But I do think as the season wears on, these guys are only going to get better. And I really feel like this Atlanta Falcons team is only going to continue to get better from here, because we haven't taken advantage of a lot of opportunities that we've had as far as putting the ball in the end zone. When we've had our opportunities, we've had a lot of self-inflicted wounds, whether it's penalties or whether it's turnovers. And I really feel like if we stop making these key turnovers at key moments, we'll put up more points, because right now we're putting up big yardage in each game. We've had multiple games over 400 yards in total yardage, but we continue to make these mistakes, turning the ball over and things of that nature. And I really feel like the tide is getting ready to turn. And I really feel like this Atlanta Falcons team, once they stop making these, these boneheaded type mistakes or these young mistakes, rookie mistakes, I really feel like this Atlanta Falcons team is going to be a lot better moving forward. But with that being said, you guys give me your thoughts for this Atlanta Falcons team in this game against the Buccaneers. Like I said, I was really proud of the team for perseverance, for still pulling out the win. And like I said, I think that this team is only going to get better as the season progresses. And we're starting to see those playmakers and these guys start to make plays as they continue to gain that experience. But with that being said, this been your boy Jew. I have a lot more content coming for you guys. But as always, Falcons Nation, rise up, be blessed, peace.